All right, guys, what is going on? My name is Pipe Bomb City, and welcome to my WWE 2016 yearly review, guys. I did this last year, and it was 43 minutes, so I'm just telling you guys, I got a lot more to talk about this year, so be prepared. I'm going to try and zoom through most of this shit, man, because there's a lot of stuff, as you can see on your screen, that I really want to talk about. But be sure to check out my Instagram at Pipe Bomb City. Be sure to subscribe, like, and comment on this video, guys. Well, shit. Right now, it is December 30th, and we're only a few hours away from December 31st. And then just like that, it's going to be a new year full of new shit. All right, 2016, as the description says, for most people, this was a shit year. Tons of just bad things happened to everybody, But for pro wrestling fans, it really wasn't that bad of a year. 2014 was a pretty shit year for the most part. 2015 wasn't that better. It was pretty damn bad. But this year, this was good with the introduction of the draft, tons of new young talent, just so many great memories. But then again, for every great memory, I'd say for every 3 great memories, there's a pretty big shit stain on that. So we're just going to go straight from the beginning of the year, all right, ending 2015, coming into 2016. It wasn't good. Roman Reigns was a champion, or no, Sheamus was the champion. He was in a rivalry with Roman Reigns. And then we had Triple H, who was getting all involved, and then the Royal Rumble happened, all right? Now, if you saw my top 10 matches of 2016, you know that I put the Royal Rumble match in the top 10. I enjoyed the match wholeheartedly. Roman was defending his title. If you remember, it was Roman versus the Authority at the time, so that was happening, So it was going to be Roman versus the Authority, and he had to put his title on the line in the Rumble match, and that's what happened. And it was interesting because man, we all hated Roman at the time. He's gained a lot more fans now, but he's still disliked, but he was just so universally hated. And man, when Triple H came out and he won that damn match and got rid of Roman, Triple H out of nowhere, everyone was speculating that Triple H would return, and then he would win the title in the Rumble and he'd be number 30, and that's what happened. He was number 30 and he came out and it was great. It was him and Ambrose in the final 2, and it was just a great overall match. Triple H came out on top. Now, Triple H as a champion is a very forgettable one, not in the past, but for 2016, his WWE World title reign was just it wasn't bad, you couldn't say, but it was more, again, forgettable because he had his defense against Ambrose and then Roman, and then he lost, and that's fine. He was the corporate guy, and there's nothing wrong with that, you know what I'm saying? But the problem with Triple H's champion was, again, he wasn't there enough. And man, I just said he's the corporate guy. That's fine. But speaking of Ambrose, if you forgot, we had Roadblock in February, and he had a short little program with Ambrose there. So it was Ambrose versus Triple H at Roadblock. He had a fine match. It was a pretty damn good rivalry, and it was a pretty damn good match that they had at Roadblock. So everything worked out fine, But then it moved on to Fastlane. A very forgettable pay-per-view. Not much happened here. But then it set up for the triple threat match between, which a lot of people forgot about. The match itself was not bad by any means, but the problem, it was just very forgettable. It was Lesnar, Reigns, and Ambrose. And again, the match itself was fantastic, but a lot of people just forgot about it, There were some good elements there, but at the same time, it was just, so it was interesting to see that. And then we have that, and then pretty much everyone was speculating that the Wyatt family was going to get involved because the Wyatts were doing shit with Lesnar at the time. The Wyatts didn't come out. Reigns just won clean, And then Reigns goes on to face Triple H at WrestleMania 32. And usually the main event at WrestleMania 30, WrestleMania 31. And you know what? Even at WrestleMania 28 and 29. It was Rock versus Cena, which the first one was good, but then the second one, everyone's like, ooh, the rematch. I thought it was supposed to be once in a lifetime. Ooh, this shit. Even so, it was still a big occasion, and it wasn't that bad. This was just a shit, man. This was so bad. I think since the WrestleMania 27 main event, it was worse. Nobody wanted to see it. It went on and on. I think that was the only match of WrestleMania 32. I watched it from the beginning of the kickoff to the very end, but I stopped. I stopped in the middle of the main event because I just could not bear to watch it. It was so boring. And that happened. WrestleMania 32 itself, they broke records, but the show was just not so good. It didn't compare to 28, 29, 30, and 31. It was decent, but I just felt like the matches were really great, but the booking was just not there at all. But anyway, stuff that happened in between February to April. Titus O'Neil got suspended, if you guys remember. That was just a big fuck up, for shoving Vince. And man, looking back on it, poor Titus. His biggest memory, the thing that people are going to remember of his career, is him kissing his son in the mouth. I don't even want to fucking think about it. He does what he wants to do, but I just don't. Oh, I don't go there, man. And then we had Daniel Bryan retire, if you guys remember. Bryan retiring, it was just, a lot. It brought tears to my eyes. It was such a great moment to see Bryan, get to have that good ending, but then at the same time, it's like, oh, fuck, here's this great guy. I mean, everybody knew that Bryan wasn't going to return, but just facing the reality of him retiring was horrible, but it was a great moment. He's doing the SmackDown GM. He's doing great things, and he's living a healthy, happy life, and that's all that matters in the end. New Day, again, still champs. They just won it earlier in the fall previous, so New Day was still on a roll here. Tag team wrestling was starting to pick up here, but it really, nothing big happened here. Shane McMahon returned, and man, I was watching Raw, and when Shane McMahon returned, I freaked the fuck out, dude. Oh my god. Like, Shane retired. Well, Shane was not in the WWE when I started watching. I started watching in 2012. Shane was not there. Shane left a while before that, so I had no idea who he was. But as years went on, I became a bigger fan of pro wrestling, and I knew who he was. And then he returned. I was freaking out, like, what the fuck is Shane McMahon doing here? And I saw it, man, and he went on to have one of the most confusing rivalries. Why face The Undertaker? Why did he end up being the GM of Raw? Why even afford him an opportunity? It was just a very confusing rivalry between Shane, Undertaker, and then Vince was the god watching above, and it was just a mess. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what happened there. I mean, for WrestleMania, other than like for rivalries, there really wasn't that much to mention other than Lesnar and Ambrose was just a huge disappointment, man. It was just such a disappointment. It had the potential to be one of the greatest matches, and it just did not. This is also AJ Styles was having his WrestleMania debut after debuting in the Rumble. Again, an amazing moment. And then Jericho won. I know a lot of people probably forgot about that. Jericho beat Styles at WrestleMania 32. And it was just incredible. A lot of people were hating on it, but I was like, fuck it, man. I don't give a shit. Anyway, this was also when Jericho was starting to get into that heel persona that we all became interested in loving. That's a weird phrasing, but whatever. So WrestleMania ended. The draft, I must mention, it was not announced yet, but a lot of people were speculating that it was going to happen. And also a weird thing, usually Extreme Rules happens and then Payback. It was weird in 2016, Payback happened before Extreme Rules, but I'm pretty sure it's confirmed that in 2017, Extreme Rules will return back in May, and then Payback will happen in June. Or just either way, it doesn't matter what month. Extreme Rules is coming before Payback, I believe, in 2017. So then we got that going on. Nothing really happened in Extreme Rules other than that AJ Styles ended up having a rivalry with Roman Reigns in a fantastic match. Styles won a fatal 4-way on Raw to become #1 contender, and it was great, After they were going off the storyline of, Styles lost at WrestleMania 32, and then he comes back and he's the #1 contender. And I like that storyline, and it was interesting to see how Styles brought the best out of Roman. I have not really... I mean, Roman has grown. He's improved immensely. Still pretty much hated by most of the fans, and I see where they're coming from. but he really has improved, and then this really just brought out the best. Styles was such a great worker, and then everyone was saying, "Oh, this is a disgrace. He shouldn't be facing Styles." And I think that might have gotten Roman going. Whatever. So they had fantastic matches. They didn't make my top 15 or top 20 matches of 2016. I personally wasn't that big of a fan of them, but a lot of people were interested in it. And the rivalry was good. I did like the rivalry, So Styles and Roman went out there for Extreme Rules, and then at Payback, and then they had their second match at Extreme Rules where Seth freaking Rollins returned, and he was a heel at the time, So Rollins returned again. He's a heel at the time, and then I remember, man, everyone was saying, and then he came out on Raw and came out on SmackDown that week, and pretty much building up to Money in the Bank. Everyone's like, why is he a heel? Why would anybody want to see him as a heel? Oh, he should be a baby. I was, you know what, man, I'm not gonna hide, I was included in that. I was saying, like, why the fuck is he a heel? He should be a babyface, after that fucking WWE 24 documentary and shit, and then he took time off, and now he's back. Why is he not a babyface? Looking back, I wish he would have stayed heel, because I hate babyface Rollins, and I had no idea what we were getting into. It's not that Rollins is bad as a babyface, but he's just, like, so much better as a heel. Kind of like CM Punk, honestly, in a way, where he's like, they're both so great in the ring, and they're both very talented guys, but they're okay baby faces. But as heels, man, they are just so, like, the best is brought out of them. And then Rollins working in that authority thing, I personally didn't like that. Honestly, I think Styles is just one of those heels where he can be a heel, but he can win on his own, unlike the Miz, and there's nothing wrong with that, but unlike The Miz and unlike, Rollins at the time and people like that, and Charlotte sometimes, where they need people to get involved. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but whatever. Moving on. So Rollins comes back, and it's great. Not much happened here. It's worth mentioning there was a fantastic match. So a Fatal 4-Way Intercontinental title match with Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, The Miz, and I believe Cesaro. And this was also the Ambrose Asylum match, where there was not much it was really just a horrible match, but I think one of the best things about it was Jericho going through the thumbtacks, but other than that, really wasn't that much. And that was pretty much Extreme Rules, and then we went on to Money in the Bank, one of my favorite pay-per-views. I love it so much. It's very dear to me. Again, New Day still on a roll. This was about the time. This was right before the draft. It was pretty much, I think the draft might have been announced by now. I don't know. I think it was a little bit after Money in the Bank was when the draft was officially announced, or maybe it was a little bit before Money in the Bank. Either way, I'm pretty sure everybody knew about the draft by now. So the fucking draft is here. So that's always in mind. And again, rumors were going on since the beginning of 2016. It was finally confirmed that the draft was back. And man, I think that is one of the best parts of 2016, the draft. You know what, man? And a lot of people are saying it's not going to be as good. And the draft day itself wasn't that great, but it was interesting, and it ended up being great for the most part, So that was that. Money in the Bank happens. The Shield becomes, or each member of the Shield becomes champion. Also this was Jericho's heel persona, kicked up to a 10. He was there. Jericho, and then the Money in the Bank match. Fucking God damn it, D-Mac. Oh shit. Sorry, I'm opening a Snapchat. So then the fucking Money in the Bank match, remember that every single member of the Shield was there. And then that pretty much set up, after that night, everyone was pretty much remembering how, the Shield triple threat, it was always in mind ever since the Shield broke up, but it was there, and it finally fucking happened at Battleground. And I wish it happened at SummerSlam or something, because I think the fact that it happened at Battleground really, like, turned away fans, and it just didn't they didn't buy into it because Battleground was known for just being that filler pay-per-view. So not a lot of people could buy into it, you know. But again, and everyone keeps forgetting that Ambrose won the Money in the Bank because he does have the record for the shortest time held. I would have liked seeing him hold it for longer, but he didn't. And you know, man, I wish it lasted longer. But you know what, man? Again, and he made history, so that's good on him. Moving on. Heading into Battleground, the draft was announced. Draft fucking happens. It was amazing. And this was the point where I noticed a few things. Owens took on a bigger role. The Miz really started coming out after that draft happened. AJ Styles really started coming out. You know, he just turned heel. He had a decent match. It really let me down, though, with expectations. AJ versus Cena, which happened in Money in the Bank. And, you know, this was the face of the Indies versus face of the WWE. They clashed together. And it didn't work at Battleground. It didn't especially work at Money in the Bank. But at SummerSlam, it came together. But I'll get into that in a minute here. So, again, after the draft happened, you know, Miz and Styles took on bigger roles. SmackDown turned live. The women's division was interesting because on Raw, there really was nothing there. This is right about when Bayley was starting to get into the main roster. SmackDown Live Women's Division kicked ass. Right from the beginning, the first ever Raw that happened was way better than SmackDown. The first Raw post-draft was fucking amazing. And then the SmackDown one was all right. But ever since then, SmackDown has been better than Raw each and every week, in my opinion. You know, they introduced new titles and shit, and again, a lot of people were getting mad, and they still are mad because the colors represent each title. It's ugly, in my opinion, for some of them, and I don't like that, but whatever. So again, getting off fucking topic here. Here we are at Battleground. Nothing really happened, again, except for the Shield triple threat. And then there was the 6-man tag with Styles and stuff. Randy Orton just returned, and it was just announced that he was going to face Brock Lesnar, who was having a pretty shit year after getting eliminated from the Royal Rumble. After that horrible match at the Wyatt with Bray Wyatt, or Luke Harper, I forgot. I don't even think he fought Bray Wyatt at Roadblock, and then the big letdown of a match at WrestleMania. So he comes back at SummerSlam, and everybody wanted to see Orton versus Lesnar, if you guys remember. Everybody wanted to fucking see it. It was a letdown. It ended up with a TKO finish. It's just I don't think I've ever seen a TKO finish other than that. Owens versus Zayn happened in one of the matches of the year. It was my number 11. I think the Hype Bros just came together, and then this was when, if you guys remember, the Wyatt family challenge for the titles, or they fucking didn't, but whatever. Oh yeah, okay, and then we moved on to SummerSlam. This was the first pay-per-view, or the second pay-per-view post-draft. Again, Styles versus Cena, one of the matches of the year, was fucking amazing. Charlotte Flair and Sasha, this is when the rivalry started getting a lot of people the wrong way. A lot of things were fucking up because they were starting to exchange the titles after SummerSlam, and this was like the big women's match, you know. Charlotte, I haven't been talking about the women pretty much at all, but this was when the Charlotte and Sasha rivalry. WWE was trying to rebuild them as the new Trish and the new Lita, and you know, man, they did that. And thank God now it's over, all the titles from, but it just didn't work. But again, the match at SummerSlam was great. But if you guys remember, Sasha was trying to fucking kill herself. Some of the bumps that she took was just horrible. The Universal title came into a debut with Finn Balor, which I have to fucking talk about in a minute here. I completely forgot about Finn Balor. Oh, and James Ellsworth too. I got to talk about James Ellsworth. Stupid bitch. So the Universal title finally debuted, and pretty much for the entire thing, a lot of people were just dissing it. That entire match was just people shitting on that title, you know, because everyone was saying it looked like a fruit roll-up, and the crowd was just shitting on it the entire time. But again, this was the introduction of the Universal Championship. They put on a pretty all-right match, you know, Rollins and Balor. Balor ends up winning and becomes the first ever Universal Champion, you know. And then the WWE World Title match was a big letdown with Ziggler, if you remember that, and Ambrose. And that was pretty much SummerSlam for you, you know. It was coming off UFC 200 too, so you know, with all the drugs and shit. I don't think they found out about that yet. I think they did. I don't know. All right, but again, I want to talk about the first Raw some more, in the first SmackDown a little bit here. I'm pretty sure the Cruiserweight Classic was going on during this time. The Cruiserweight Classic was just fucking amazing, man. I'll get into that in a second here. But Finn Balor, man, if you guys remember, completely in NXT, the dominant guy. He was the number 3 draft pick. It was fucking amazing. He goes on Raw, wins the Fatal 4-Way match against some pretty damn high mid-card guys, and then beats Roman Reigns clean in the main event of Raw to face Rollins for the Universal title at SummerSlam, which was great. This was also the birth of James Ellsworth, the cancer of WWE. He's horrible. He was What Culture's number 2 worst wrestler of the year, justifiably so. I would have rated him fucking number 1, but whatever, they put R-Truth, whatever. That's Adam Blampier, all right? But James Ellsworth, man, the cancer that was created. He was liked too. It was pretty much until October and November when people started hating on him. But god damn it, he was liked. I liked him too, you know? But oh god, the birth, the cancer of WWE. But whatever, man. Also, I think it was around SummerSlam. A little bit after they confirmed, this was before Backlash. It was after SummerSlam, they announced the SmackDown Live tag team titles and the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. And they also, you know, Cruiserweight Classic. They announced that the Cruiserweights were coming to Raw after SummerSlam. So that's what happened. The Cruiserweight Classic was just a great thing. All the matches were great. You know, there was some great indie talent. And then now they're fucking in WWE. And I think that you guys might know about how I feel about the Cruiserweight division. I think it's shit. Not shit, but I wish 205 Live might have been on like a Wednesday or something. I don't like it being after SmackDown Live because I have not watched an episode of 205 Live yet. I just can't. It's just after SmackDown Live, I'm exhausted and I don't want to watch that again. And I see WWE's logic where if people can watch 3 hours of Raw, they can watch 2 hours of SmackDown Live and then an hour of Cruiserweight. But SmackDown Live is more fast-paced than Raw. That's why it's fucking 2 hours and it works, you know? 205 Live, man, is just shit. But talking about the Cruiserweight Classic itself, I shouldn't say 205 Live is shit. I just haven't gotten to watch it because it's just later on. This was also when I believe Talking Smack was announced, or it came into a debut around this time, which was great. And then pretty much after SummerSlam, we moved on to Backlash. Clash of Champions. If you can remember that shit show, there's nothing really to talk about other than right after SummerSlam, Owens became the Universal Champion. One of the greatest things of 2016, the greatest moments, was when Owens fucking came in, Triple H turned down Rollins, and Owens became the Universal Champion. It was fantastic. I think it was also no, that's later on. Never mind. This was also Chris Jericho's full heel effect. He became the Chris Jericho we all love. It was fantastic. The list pretty much came in around this time, and then Backlash happened. All right, Backlash. AJ Styles won the WWE Championship. Becky Lynch was crowned as the first ever women's champion. And then Heath Slater and Rhino became the first ever SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions. It was great, you know. SmackDown Live was kicking Raw's ass at this point, and they still are to this day. They finally, if you guys noticed, this week, they surpassed Raw in the ratings. They finally beat Raw in the ratings, and it was fantastic. But whatever. All right, I think it was viewership rating. I don't give a fuck. SmackDown beats Raw officially on paper. Woo, numbers, yes. So that happened. Raw, again, not doing so good. No Mercy happened. This was Miz. Fine, like Miz, dude, if you want to talk about guys who grab brass rings, I know that's what What Culture said. You dirty marks, I know. But really, the Miz just grabbed that damn brass ring. You know, Miz accomplished a lot of things. He's one of the 6 Grand Slam champions who's won every single current title. He's one of the 6 guys currently in the WWE who have done that. I think maybe in history. You know, it's either right now or in history. They've won every single fucking championship on the current roster. Yeah. But really, Miz was winning all that stuff, but he didn't really have that yet, you know. But now in this goofy persona, this Hollywood guy fucking his wife every night, the Miz just came into full effect, and he's going to break Chris Jericho's record of most Intercontinental title reigns, hopefully, and it'd be great, and I love him, and he's so amazing, and I put him number 4 of 2016, who had the greatest 2016. That doesn't make sense. Whatever. Hell in a Cell happened after No Mercy. First ever women's Hell in a Cell match. Reigns became the United States Championship, or the United States Champion, and beat Rusev. So that's pretty much it. Reigns finally became the U.S. Champion, which a lot of people thought was good because he went down instead of up, you know. Owens and Rollins had a rivalry. It was like you know, whatever. I don't give a shit. But the real greatest thing about Hell in a Cell, again, first ever women's Hell in a Cell match, first women to main event a pay-per-view, and it was not a letdown. It was pretty damn good, you know? So whatever, it was good shit. Survivor Series happened. Goldberg returns, squashes Brock Lesnar. Everybody's pissed. The end, honestly. The 5-on-5 shit between the brands, it was good. I loved it. If you want to see my live review watch along, which I bet none of you will, whatever, go check it out. It's on my channel, and I had some great reactions because I loved every single one of those matches. They were all fantastic. And Survivor Series was a very memorable pay-per-view, one of the best of 2016, if not the best. TLC, Tables, Ladders, and Chairs, SmackDown Live, James Ellsworth. This is where I officially just said fuck you to him because he's a bitch and I hate him. He was just getting so involved with main event storylines after Survivor Series. I just don't like him. This was just the point where it's like, fuck you, James Ellsworth. You are purely shit. The United Kingdom tournament was announced right about this time at TLC. So good shit was going on there. And then we have Roadblock again. The second Roadblock in the line, very forgettable. Nothing really happened other than a week before, New Day broke the record for longest reigning tag team champions, which is amazing. They deserve it. And then they lost to Cesaro and Sheamus, you know, which is fine. And then they have the Raw Tag Team Championships have the new look. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, the year 2016. Honestly, that was 2016, guys. It was a pretty damn good year. It's pretty much almost over. That's fine. It was great. I had a lot of great times during this year. So much fun. But then again, so much shit at certain times. But whatever, man. What did you guys think of 2016? Tell me in the comments below. This has been Pipe Bomb City. Hopefully you guys enjoyed 2016. Hopefully I will give you all my blessings for 2017. Hopefully you guys have a great, fantastic year. Hopefully WWE does too. If you didn't notice on their Instagram, they might get kicked off of the USA Network for another show. I forgot what it's called. But they might get kicked off the USA Network, which is not good. I don't think it's because of the ratings. Some people are saying that it is, and it's not getting enough, you know, ratings, so they're going to kick them off USA. I can't imagine WWE getting kicked off of USA. Like WWE, the mighty company, they're going to end up like fucking TNA maybe, and they got to keep switching everywhere. But whatever, man. That's just that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I don't think it was over 43 minutes like last year. I tried to sum up things pretty damn easy for you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Be sure to check out my Instagram at PipeBombCity or Instagram.com/PipeBombCity. Be sure to subscribe, like, and comment on this video. This has been Pipe Bomb City, and I will see you all next time.